All right, it wasn't that long ago where there were some people in the world that, thought Giannis was done, wasn't going to win the finals, and, the Suns were going to take it, and Giannis would just drift away.
That was just you, Tom. No one else thought that.
Like I said, there were some brilliant people just about a month and a half ago that thought if Giannis keeps shooting free throws like he has been, I don't know, his entire life, they probably won't win the finals. But then, God touched him, and he went 17 for 18 in Game 6 of the NBA Finals. And wow, has his life changed since then. So since then, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Giannis.
Greek freak.
Yeah, the Greek freak. So since then, wow, it's been a whirlwind. So after the parade in Milwaukee, he ends up buying an ownership stake in the Milwaukee Brewers, which is very exciting and very cool, and something that he seemed he was really, really excited about. He has a sports drink that he's a co-owner in, right? And now Gonzaga, the basketball team, and the entire athletic department has made it their official sports drink. I mean, is that going to be hard for Mark Few to recruit athletes to Gonzaga now? Oh, by the way, Giannis is the owner of our sports drink. Come meet Giannis, right? Not that they need any recruiting advantages, but they have even more. Giannis is going to be their biggest fan because he's going to want that to sell and do very, very well. So because of the NBA championship, Giannis is now maybe 1A, the biggest star in the NBA, maybe number 1. I mean, he's the king right now. And it's just unbelievable how your fortunes as an athlete can change when you win a championship. We wouldn't be talking about him if he hasn't. And he's following an interesting path right now because he's signed long-term, 8 or 10 years with Milwaukee. He's going to be a mainstay there. He got the max. And it kind of reminds you a little bit about what Patrick Mahomes is doing with the Kansas City Chiefs. You have another guy in a small market who took over that city by storm, who everybody has embraced, who he has actually welcomed the community and really want to contribute and be part of it and been that familiar face, him and his wife. I mean, everybody loves Patrick, obviously, around the whole country, but in Kansas City, it's something special and something different. I think you could put Larry Fitzgerald in that category as well. And, he did the same thing. He bought a little piece of the Phoenix Suns. So you have these elite athletes that own a city, right, for their accomplishments and winning a championship. But it looks like they really want to put some long-term roots in there. And Phil, back, even like a few years ago, athletes wanted to get to New York or LA because that's where they thought the money was. But there almost seems to be a blueprint right here. Now, it helps if you win a championship, even though Larry Fitzgerald never did. Russell Wilson, he's almost on that same level in Seattle, your hometown. But do you think this is something that other athletes notice and think, man, you know what, it might not be so bad being in Cincinnati or Tampa or Denver or something like that?
I think it's great because they're showing their entrepreneur spirit, right? And they're making good use out of those max deals. That's what I'm most impressive with, is that we always hear about the horror stories, and I'm sure you've seen a ton being around the NBA and stuff like that, how often athletes just burn through cash. Well, if you're going to invest in anything, you can invest in another team, just like an owner would. Like the owner of your team probably has a soccer club over in Europe, maybe runs a race car company or whatever. These are great because this, to me, shows longevity within the community. He's the basketball player, but he's also doing stuff, like you said, with Gonzaga. He's doing stuff with the Milwaukee Brewers. I love to know that, like, champions are trying to stay put. Yeah. And with Patrick Mahomes, I mean, that contract was a beast.
Yeah.
That was a beast. And to know that, like, he is investing in his community. He's going to be there. And as a fan, if you're living there, you're thinking, I'm going to root for him always because he's going to be – he's going to have a monument here.
Yeah, it gives you more civic pride when you know that a famous athlete who just brought you a championship cares as much about your hometown as you do. That really resonates with a lot of people, especially sports fans. KD is another guy who, man, he's almost known as much for his investments right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the people that he hooked up with when he played with the Warriors, I mean, he got involved in the tech industry in a big way. Same thing now in Brooklyn. Yeah. But, man, you're really seeing these guys. It's almost impossible to go broke if you're an NBA star. Like back in the day, you hear the horror stories of them spending all the money, but now there's just too much. I mean, that's not even counting their $200 million shoe deal, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and the world itself, again, is evolving. I mean, we were talking earlier just even about media and how media is changing, right? And, there's other places you can go. You can go to Warner Brothers. You can go to these studios, these older entities. That would be equivalent to like LA or New York. But because social media and streaming and just the way the world is evolving, it really evens the playing field for every other sports as well. But each city now has almost an equal opportunity because you can go global because of technology. You can go all over the place.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the size of the city. And if you're relevant and you're a star, the only guy that is kind of doing the opposite of that is Aaron Rodgers, if you think about it. Even though he has invested in the Milwaukee Bucks, he's a part owner of the NBA team. Yeah, he's always got one foot out the door, kind of, and I think this is actually it for him. But Green Bay is different. I don't know if you guys have ever been there, and it's charming and it certainly has its appeal, but it is a small town.
Yeah.
I mean, it's smaller than a college town, and for a guy like Aaron, at some point you just maybe need a little bit more stimulation, right? There's no way you can leave there year
dates
round.
the Hollywood actresses.
Yeah, and he's a California guy, so I mean, it's the perfect place to be in the summer and fall.
Right.
Winters are a little tough, but man, going to Soldier Field or going to Lambeau Field is for a California guy, man, and you got to do that for 15 years like he's had to. It's a lot of cold afternoons. Hey, thanks so much for checking out that short clip from Sports Now with Tom Zenner. If you want to see another short clip, click right here, or if you want to see the entire episode, click right here. Thanks for watching, everybody.